So start recording.
Might be dropping bodies though.
That is
Like
wild.
being stable.
Literally, as I clicked start recording and the recording started, the first thing that's going to be on the second part of the recording is, we are dropping bodies though. Oh, God. Oh. Welcome back. I have fixed the issue. So what happened is OBS decided that it's going to activate enhanced broadcasting again and let it decide what my video bitrate is, and it was killing my video bitrate. But it is sorted. I have dropped a little bit and we are running perfectly stable. So the full video will be mushed together on YouTube because thankfully the recording is unaffected by whatever happens for stream quality. So we start off the morning after, as you all had a relatively busy day prior, with arriving in Elunéth, finding the princess, who at the time you didn't know was the princess, being attacked on the docks, to fighting the Yochl, making your way to the keep, once again encountering the princess, and then taking time to familiarize yourselves with what there is in the keep, which you all felt was quite a bit bigger and in somewhat better condition than initially expecting, taking the rest of the day to kind of just tidy things up somewhat. Getting started with the little things you could do then and there without re-venturing straight back into town. Doing this and then spending the evening with
Under the stars.
the princess under the stars, sharing.
Oh.
Not like that. Maybe Dasan did, but we don't know.
Where's the sun?
It's nighttime, so Dasan is not here. God. Sharing some stories and some serviceable food. Morning comes around. The fire just gently smoldering. The heat almost all but gone. And you, at your own times, will just slowly start being woken by the sun starting to peek over the hills. The fresh smell of the morning of a new day, and that slight remnant of smoke. And I hand over to you. Who's waking up first, and what are you doing?
Can I say that since I don't necessarily need the full 8 hours because I'm all elven and better than everyone, I say that with the sun in mind. Could I have possibly located like a bucket or some sort of water holder item that I could have maybe used to go and either fetch some water from the river, however far away that was, or see if there's any sort of like water source semi-functional in the keep?
Yeah, you definitely could, and I would say your best bet at this point would have been going down to the river, not that far at all from the keep, and gathering some water. And as you get back to the keep where you'd all spent the night, you do notice that where the princess was sleeping, her stuff has been neatly folded and kind of pushed aside, and just a small little piece of torn parchment just lying propped up against it.
Is the princess not there at all?
No.
If I look around.
She's
Okay.
not there.
I'll make a mental note of that. I'm going to go put the water down and then just walk over and have a look at the note.
Note
Just not a ransom note.
It's a bill for her company.
You just see scrolled on the note, "We'll be back in morning."
Okay,
Well, the
then.
morning.
Hey. That was good. But that's that. So, as you were.
Well, who's waking up first? Because that depends on what I want to do.
So I'm realistically not waking up early.
Not a morning person.
Yeah.
If the fire is still going, or if it's still like just smoldering, I want to just maybe poke at it a bit and just get it going again and attempt to get some hot water boiling so that we can make some coffee. I assume Visilva's still got some beans somewhere. I'll wait for her to wake up before we brew it and she can make her famous coffee for us. Our first cup in our own place, but I'll get it started in the meantime.
Sure, you can do that.
I think Dasan already has his own coffee, but the rest of us will, I don't know, figure ourselves out.
Sure. Shadow and the Sun. What are y'all
I
doing?
think hearing the rummaging inside, I'll be outside, and that would definitely wake me up. And I'll do some stretches, grab a hot cup of my own, take in the morning air, listening to the birds chirping, the smell of the dew, and the dust. And then it hits me and I realize exactly where I am again. And yeah, I'll take another quick round trip around the keep just to look at cracks in the walls and so on, planning the future, and make my way inside, see who's awake.
Good morning, sunshine.
Is that a Dasan joke? But
Are you
good morning
surprised?
to you too. Must say, I haven't had a nice, relaxing, good night's sleep like that in a long time.
Oh, you're definitely looking nice and rested. You're enjoying the fresh air.
Oh, definitely. Just being so close to nature again after the whole Feywild thing and then the floating thing. It's good to be on ground again, normal ground again. What about you? Why are you up already?
Just got stuff to do, I suppose. No reason.
Can't
Just
turn your
Winston.
elf mind off again.
No. Just went and did a quick look around the keep again. And yeah, went and fetched some water if you want some fresh water. I see the princess left a note. She said she'll be back in the morning, so whenever that is, I suppose we're going to expect another visit from her.
What happened there? How exactly did you guys get her here? Did she just show up?
Literally, she was hooded and hiding from the guards and just following us. And when we confronted her, she was asking us if we were going to the keep and asked if she could join us. So we let her, I suppose. She just told us to please not alert the guards as to where she was, which, I mean, it's not really my first thoughts. And then she gave us a bit of a history on the place. That's more or less when we made up with you.
Interesting. I just find it strange that she chose us as the kind of company she wants to keep after literally just being rescued from wherever.
I think she yearns for that adventure. And I think we also reek of different. Something that's more adventurous and gives her something new to what she's accustomed to. Quite sweet, actually.
Yeah, I don't know where I stand on that. I mean, we might. Let's just say her family might not look toward us with the most satisfied looks. You know, if she's missing and she's with us, putting her life in danger might put our lives in danger, if that makes sense.
It does, and it's not something that I don't think we can't handle. But I think if she speaks up on our behalf, perhaps the sort of trouble that's waiting for us when we go back to the city can be avoided. I think the best way to mitigate any sort of trouble, like that guard said when we first arrived, is to just keep telling the truth and just ask questions and not get too involved. So as long as they know where we stand, as much as they need to know anyways, I'll just glance over to Shadow. We'll probably keep our hands clean as much as we can. Although knowing us, something will probably go a little chaotic, as it usually does, but it's nothing we can't handle, right?
Yeah, I think we should just be careful where we ask questions, though, because I had a bit of a strange encounter yesterday when I went looking for the princess with two.
I was gonna ask about that. Those shady dudes that you went and trailed. What did you find?
Well, I couldn't find them, but I did meet up with two drows that were. I don't know. It felt to me like they were almost like on watch, looking at who comes in and out of the alley, and typical back alley gang vibes. And the one of them showed me a piece of the jewelry, and they were very, how can I say, underhand about it. They didn't offer it to me or anything, just saying that if I find my mysterious friend, which they presumed I knew the person in the hood that I saw, to tell them where to find what they had lost. So I had a bit of a conversation with them, trying to fish out information if I can figure out anything about any unlawful trading, and they weren't very forthright about it, but I could sense something scaly was going on. But that's not really my expertise or my comfort zone, so the sooner I could get out of there, I was happy to. I don't want to be caught alone in a den of thieves, you know?
Well, I can promise you one thing, you won't be alone anymore.
Yeah, at that moment I was, and that's why I wasn't comfortable being there for too long. But
I mean, fair enough, but we weren't that far away, and I mean, you can really handle yourself. You don't need us girls looking after you.
yes, but it wouldn't be a very good first impression. We just arrived in the city. We already got scolded for just attacking on site on the docks. They already had a problem with that, and then here's me taking on den of thieves, I don't think we would make a very good impression. So rather lay
Is that
low
what you were
and
doing?
just. And not on purpose, but if it went that way, I wouldn't have had a choice. So, rather just lay low and scout things out a bit.
Well, one thing's for sure, we do have business in the city. I don't know any of the details, Shadow would know more, but we do have... before we met up, we had a chat with the head of the library from Phandalin. She gave us some advice and a little trinket as well, and I'll just pat my bag, because I think I have it in the bag of holding. So I would assume that our first point of order would be to follow that trail, see where it takes us, and try not to get our hands too dirty in whatever the hell the city's got going on. I mean, big cities, there's always something going on.
There's always something going on. And the deeper you dig, the more you uncover things you didn't even want to be involved in. But speaking of, what is the order of business? I mean, like I said, I'm fully here to just be assistance as much as I can. I've got nothing going on myself. So I know Shadow wants her ship back. But what's the rest of you up to? Sure, you're not all just wanderers like me.
I mean, at this point it kind of feels like that, but we do have a common goal. I mean, we started off with the dragon hunt, hunting the dragon together, and everything just went sideways, and we were a bit of a mismatched bunch. We didn't really get along in the beginning. There was a lot of conflict, but somehow we still had each other's backs. And I don't speak for everyone else, but I would like to say that we've grown some really nice friendships over the last couple of weeks. And I mean, Shadow needs her ship, and Visilva's looking for her sister. I'm just also looking for answers. I don't know how many answers I'm going to find on this plane, but there's been a surprising amount of information so far. So at this point, I don't have any particular heading or any main goal. I just want to keep Visilva safe and help Shadow get her ship and whatever else comes across our path. Very much would like to see the other two again, but I don't know how that... Yeah. I think the first thing for the day would be coffee, though. You see, Altari is definitely deflecting from the last two.
So you got no... I'll take out my flask, and you'll see I take a sip of it, and utter bliss over my face. I'll offer it to you. You sure you don't want to try the world's most perfect coffee?
I'll try it. It seems like there's a trick to it, though. Is there a trick to it?
There's no trick to it. You just drink.
I'll take a sip.
As soon as Altari takes a sip of the coffee, Visilva's going to show up in the kitchen and look at you with utter betrayal.
I'll like sort of overcompensate a little bit and a little bit like spill over my chin. I'll just like wipe it off.
And you will literally taste the most perfect coffee you've ever had, according to you. Like what Altari imagines to be the most perfect coffee ever, perfect temperature, everything, is what you are tasting right now.
I'm just gonna close my eyes with like this feeling of bliss. You really weren't lying. Not that I didn't believe you, I'm just saying that is truly the best coffee I have ever had. I'll pass it back.
And I'll take a sip, and yeah, so once you get hooked on this stuff, you can't go back to drinking other coffee.
Although, I will admit, as nice as that coffee is, there is one other coffee that I absolutely love. And I'll like look at Visilva questioningly.
Be like, good save.
Oh,
I'll go
little
make.
one is awake.
I'll go make my coffee. But I was gonna be like, Dasan, is your coffee magic?
It is indeed.
That's cheating then.
Doesn't matter, it's perfect.
There's some hot
But-
water over the fire.
But
Visilva's
Visilva,
gonna yawn and
you-
start making coffee.
you can. You know what? I'll drink a cup of your coffee.
Yeah, Visilva's gonna make coffee, and it's really thick and really strong.
I'm gonna give Dasan a wink.
It's one of those that the teaspoon stands up straight in.
I just want to see Dasan's face when he takes a sip. It's good, right?
Did I grow extra hair on my chest? No, no, I'm kidding. Yeah, it's lovely. It's strong, but lovely.
Definitely put some extra spring in your step in the morning.
That will wake you up.
I am going to prepare some for Shadow. Or once Visilva's made it, I'll have some poured for Shadow.
Do we have more sugar? Lots more sugar.
Oh, you
Have
like your
honey?
coffee like the influencers.
But this was a nice distraction. But Altari, I just have to ask. You got so many nice plans. I didn't hear anywhere in your plans you mentioned going home.
I mean, I am looking to go home at some point, and I don't know what I'll find because things were very. Oh, I don't even know how to explain it. It was a very dangerous situation when we left, and I had no intention of leaving. It was all magic and accidental, and everything was just chaotic and crazy, and all I've done is hope that they're all okay. Haven't really had a chance to go back. I mean, you know those Feywild portals, they're a little bit testy.
If you were presented with the opportunity, though, would you?
Yes. Obviously.
Because I'm just throwing this out there. Takes another sip of the extremely strong coffee. I've kind of been working on a whole collective map of some of the portals. And, you know, who knows, maybe with some testing and messing around, we could find a way back to the Vale. I, for one, wouldn't mind going back to visit Gilamio a bit. I haven't seen him in years. If he's still alive, I don't even know.
Visilva's ears are gonna perk up at hearing going to the Feywild.
I will say this. I would love to go back home, but I have no idea what to find. I don't know what to expect. I do want to see if everyone's okay. I don't know what I would be going back to. I'd love to show Visilva the veil, and I mean, I know that her sister has something to do with the Feywild. And I've been thinking we'll probably end up going back at some point, but there just hasn't been any opportunity, and everything's just been so chaotic. So I think to answer your question more straightforward, yeah, I would love to go back to the Vale. I just don't know if I would stay.
Well, I think finding Shadow Ship might be beneficial to you as well. Because
Oh, absolutely.
with the portals being as wonky as they are, you don't know, maybe the portal we need could be located somewhere in the ocean. Someplace only a ship can reach. So
It'll definitely make travel easier.
you know, I've always been the person to shape my own fate, but I don't know, finding you guys just was not my intention, but it absolutely feels like right place, right time. And I can't help but wonder if, let's say it was fate that had me find you again after all these years, then I kind of just feel all your, let's call it, personal missions in life where we are now kind of be, let's say they my mission too, because why else would I have been put here?
I'm glad you're with us, Dasan. It's really nice to have your company and your skills and your kind words wherever the road may take us. And if it was fate or if it was choice, quite honestly, I don't care which one it was. I'm just glad to see a familiar face again.
That's
So,
something I can
wherever the
definitely
road
agree on.
goes, wherever the road goes, we'll do it together, the four of us. Well,
Hopefully more than 4.
7, if you include the pets. Does Frank count as a pet?
Nothing
Frank, do
more,
you
I
count
don't
as a
think.
pet?
I think Frank's becoming a bit sentient.
He was talking in his sleep last night. He wasn't really saying much, but just mostly Frank and the. I think he's trying to say your name.
Wait, am I his mom? Is he my child?
No, like Visilva, but the part. I don't think he can
guess
quite get this yet.
but I'm thinking, does this make me his mother?
I mean, you are responsible for him, so maybe in a way. Maybe like a big sister if you prefer it that way.
I mean, I did give him life.
You did. You actually did, yeah. Very disconcerting thought.
So I'm just sitting there deep in thought now.
Well, I'm sure we'll probably unravel more of each other's stories as we go along. But we haven't seen the princess. I don't know if she's going to be meeting up with us or if we're going to catch her along the way. If she's got anything useful for us, but we should probably go and get this coffee to Shadow and see if we can pick up on that lead for a ship. I'm gonna go over to Shadow and hold the cup next to her nose so she can get the smell of the coffee.
Is Shadow's Wi-Fi playing nice?
Say it too loud though.
Maybe the smell of coffee will make it play better.
Upon smelling the coffee, Shadow will like open one of her eyes, take the coffee, and just like sip it.
Mm.
Yes, thank you. He might You want to start another one after this, please?
There's plenty coming. Visilva's already on it.
Right. Whose fucking idea was it to sleep here?
Oh, I'm just gonna like twirl with my hair. Back away.
I'm gonna bite. I'm just not comfortable right now.
Well, we have successfully survived our first night in the keep. I'm just glad it didn't rain, because that would have been awkward. But perhaps tonight we celebrate our second night in the city.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Great. As long as there's coffee there as well. Finds out that Edelhunt doesn't have any coffee anywhere.
Okay. So, I'm guessing you guys were all up before me, so what's the plan for today?
Well, I was chatting with Dasan, and I mean, new faces, new city. We don't really want to rile things up too much and get into too much trouble. I was thinking we go and speak to... Who was it again that Marisi told us to see? Something about her father or something with the sigil with the talisman that she told us to show. I'm not sure if it was a tavern or somewhere that she told us to go and meet at, but I figured it's a good place to start and just keep sniffing out that trail on your ship.
Also, if we're going to be staying here, it might not be a bad idea just to get a general lay of the land. Figure out who's who and what's where in the city. I mean, there's sights to see. Let's see them.
Absolutely. I mean, we know where the bank is now. There's the cathedral. I'm sure we will
There's the
find some
dodgy
other
alley.
points of interest. I'm sure there's many dodgy alleys. It's a big city.
Sorry, question. Who is where? Who just in terms of simplisticness, who is inside, who is outside?
I think we're all inside.
Yeah.
Where we are, wherever the coffee is at.
Okay. I just need to know because that determines who sees what happens next. But if you're all inside, then you would all see. Whilst you're having this discussion, you kind of see like one of the corners where it's a little bit darker. But by that I just mean more shadowy than the rest of the place. You see it kind of just darken momentarily, and as it undarkens, you see Shalray kind of just like stepping out of the darkness and looks towards you. Oh, good morning.
Princess, good morning.
The use of princess, she kind of just gives you that look. I like shakes her head. Well, anyway.
My apologies.
News, but firstly, what is that wonderful smell?
Visilva's absolutely amazing coffee. Would you like to try some?
I would certainly love a. Thank you.
I do warn you, it's quite strong.
Silver will pour her a nice steaming cup of toast.
She takes it and like looks at it, swirls it around, and gives a bit of a sniff, and takes that first sip, and like just stares at the cup, then looks up. Oh my God, this is honestly the best cup of coffee I've ever had. You need to teach me how to make this so I can make it when we are not together.
Silver's just gonna shoot a look at Dasan, like smug.
Oh, right. She like has another sip of coffee, puts it down on one of the like cratey things next to her.
Broken table. probably.
So, something of interest I found whilst out. There was a murder yesterday, and you're probably thinking.
We didn't do it.
No, I didn't think you did until
Obviously.
you said that. Now I'm just a little bit. I'm kidding. I don't think you did it. But the reason I'm telling you about this murder, that's apparent that there is a reason I'm telling you about this murder. It's just not some random murder. So firstly, person who was killed is a distant family member of mine, I suppose.
Oh, shit.
Don't worry, I'm not close to them or anything. They're, one of those things that you don't really know how to describe their relationship to you. You just know you keep getting told they're family. Anyway,
I'm so sorry.
oh, thank you, but really not necessary. He's one of the lower members of the Zaureth family, Zauren. The parents were not very kind to him with that name, if you ask me. Anyway, few interesting things were found. And don't ask me why I'm telling you this. Suppose I'm telling you because he is technically family, but I'm not telling you this because I want you to investigate it per se. I'm sharing.
You just want to tell someone the gossip.
Yes, exactly. She picks up the cup of coffee, has a sip. I am sharing the tea, as they say. She laughs very awkwardly, very embarrassed at the fact that she's just said that, and puts the coffee down. All right, moving on.
Spilling the tea.
Oh, okay, that makes a little bit more sense. So, three things that we do know, or four, I guess. One, they found the murder weapon quite, not ironically, quite unexpectedly. Not something you generally expect to find at the crime scene. It was you see she pulls out a little notebook. It was a dagger with a unicorn horn for a hilt. Very strange. Mind you, I'm just gathering all this information from hearing things and thinking around. I wasn't actually doing the investigation, just before you think that's what I was doing. Apparently, the people who saw this, the one who tried to save Zauren, described the assailant as a female, mid-late 20s, light blonde hair human. It's all he could really give. Try to have one of our artists draw up a little sketch, but further than that, he was quite useless, and I say that with love. He had to watch his best friend die. Anyway, most interestingly, though, was a note, which she just kind of opens her little notebook a bit, and a little piece of parchment falls out. I managed to remove from the custody of the gods, if you'd like to call it that. It's got this strange symbol on at the back, which I will hand over to you now. No, any of you've seen it. I've never seen it before. But her note says, "Find the den of the hidden fox. I'll be waiting. One will die a day. Cole says hi." I don't know who Cole is. I don't know what this den of fox is in. I don't know what this... she kind of looks at Altari after that. Did I say something? Perchance anything means something to you?
There was something about the foxes. One of
Foxes.
Yes, the den of the hidden fox. She'll hand the note over to whoever takes it.
We'll take it.
Altari's hiding a little smile.
the little symbol, sigil, whatever you want to call it, on there. Go ahead and actually no, you don't even need to give me a history check. It's one you will quite easily recognize. You do recognize it as the two guns pressed together in front of that of a blade being the symbol of the Van Havensong family.
That's the crest on the letter, right?
Yes. So the writing would be on one side and the crest is on the other.
Okay. Well, this brings back memories.
Pleasant, not pleasant.
A task
Yeah,
not
Shadow,
yet
feel like
done.
sharing.
It tells
Okay,
you.
but Shadow opens up the letter.
Yeah, I'll just repeat. I'll put it in Discord just now. Find the den of the hidden fox. I'll be waiting. One will die a day. Cole says hi.
So, sorry, DM. Going back on past notes, we are finally investing Kima. Can Shadow open the letter that Jesper gave her?
DM's like, what?
I'm sorry.
The end's very much like what?
That was like episode 3, like last year.
Jesus.
It was
Yeah.
literally the last game of the year. And we're finally there, so I finally get to open it.
The DM's forgotten what is in it.
You're gonna have to give me a bit more context than that because
Do not open the letter until we are investing Kima. We'll learn from the best and learn from teachings. It is hand, but push through. It is hard, but push through, yeah. Sorry.
Oh, DM, brilliant.
yeah, you can read the letter. You will receive the contents of that letter a little bit later when I have found what that letter actually had in it. Because that is not
Sorry.
something I have on me and I was not expecting. No, it's fine. I'll find it. You just won't get it right now. You'll get it a little bit later.
Okay. Sorry, Shadow is still waking up. Leave her alone.
Altari is going to pull out the
And then, sorry, just real quick, in WhatsApp is the text of the letter.
thank you.
Oh, quick.
Thank you.
No, not that letter. The one you've just read now.
The other letter.
The note, more like it. Sorry, Altari is.
She's going to pull out the Thieves Guild talisman that they received from Marcy. The one with the cool intricate patterns on it. And just sort of like thumb it in her hand and then ask the princess, does this look familiar to you? And just hold it up so I'm not holding it for her to take it. I'm just sort of like holding it out and showing her.
She looks at it and leans forward, squints at it, takes a few steps forward and looks at it a bit more. I've seen that before. I can't remember where. I know it was. You can see like she like scrunches her eyes closed, lifts her hand to her head. It was in a tavern. It'll come to me. I know I have seen it before. I can tell you that for certainty.
That's fine. It's no trouble, anything. I just want to know. The person who gave this to us said that we should use this for information, so I was just doing exactly that, I suppose.
You can see she looks at it a little more. These patterns, do they look like anything to you?
Do they look like anything to me? Other than what they are?
She like holds up her hand. You look. Hold on. She kind of starts going and is digging through her bag. Give me a perception or investigation check.
Which one's higher? Oh yeah, a 25.
Nice.
That was very close. Very nearly a 3, but it wasn't. It was a 16.
You can see what it is, the almost labyrinthian sketching type thing, just a mess, but almost like those, whatever those pictures are called, those magic eye things, where there's an image behind a thing that if you stare at it at the right angle, that I've never been able to do, you see a second image or whatever the act. I'm explaining this badly because I've never gotten it to work, but
stereogram.
Thank you. No, it's a stereo.
Thinking
the stereo thing that Farmy said. Yes, that. You kind of see something, but you can't quite make it out. And as you kind of like standing there squinting at it, Ray approaches with a book, just like flips through. I have notes on talismans and things similar to this. It's not this exact one, but judging by how you're squinting at it, I think it might work. She like holds her hand out. May I?
Sure. I'm like giving her not an intimidating look or anything, just sort of like a scrutinizing look, but very sussly, and I'll give it to her very slowly. Just so that she knows, like through gesture, I'm being quite cautious.
Sure. She takes it very gently. Thank you. Kneels down, gets a rock, puts the rock down, and kind of like balances the little talisman against it at a bit of an angle, that it's kind of like facing a wall. Right. Don't know if this is going to work. She puts her hand on the rock and she casts light onto the rock. And you see shining through the talisman, like as where the shadow of the talisman hits the wall, the light shining through, the light forming an image. Image is kind of not making sense, so she turns it a little bit, and it's one of those things that when the image is upside down, your brain doesn't register it until it hits the right way up, and then you're just like, that's what it is. So she kind of does that, turns the image, the little talisman, and the image eventually just clicks to what it is for everyone. It is a very simplistic but stylized outline of a fox's head.
Once again, we met with the foxes. That's
Does the name Cole mean anything to us? I would encounter them. Does the name Cole mean anything to us? Because we've encountered so many names. I generally don't bother to remember them.
Ouch.
Do you remember that charming fellow at the Lion Shield Costa back in Vanderlyn? The one who gave us all the free stuff? The one who gave you the flags?
Yes, I do.
Michael, the
Thought
one that you
him.
also saved. And Dasan also knows him because we used to do quests back in the day, so
Okay.
we all know
I
him.
thought the name sounded familiar. I just wasn't 100% sure. Wait, wasn't
I
the
have
free
to
stuff given to me
apologize.
by the shop owner?
He was the shop owner, as far as I know. Or are you
He was
referring to
been-
the other guy?
Wait, so Cole was the shop owner.
Cole owned the weapon
Yeah.
store. Talon was the
Ah,
general store owner, the guy who gave you the
The miners
mining
exchange.
equipment. Yeah, the miners
okay.
exchange. Thank you. The Lion
okay.
Shield Costa was the weapon and armory, that kind of a store, and that was where Cole was.
Okay.
I remember Forlan getting
that.
upset with him because he was flirting with Shadow.
We know too many people.
That we
It didn't
do.
click because I wrote his name wrong.
I mean, it sounds the same when you read it out, so.
Spelling makes a difference.
Yes.
You know, I would ask what he's doing with these so-called foxes, but knowing Cole, I'm also not surprised.
But
So hang on. This guy
Um,
has got coal. Where do you think Jesper is then? Because I thought they were together.
I mean,
I mean, there could be more than one Cole in the universe, just pointing that out.
I don't
It's
think more than
possible.
one that would leave notes for.
for the group saying hi.
Yeah.
Well, was this left for us? This was just left on a random dead body. How would they know that we get the note?
You make a very good point, and perhaps I'm buying too much into the coincidence of things. Although,
I'm
if
not
it is the same
Saying it
Cole,
couldn't be. I'm just saying can't jump to conclusions.
no, you're right. You were the one who was saying that we need to ask more questions, and these are the questions that we should be asking.
I mean, out of game, we probably know it's for us, but logically, in game, how would we know?
Why would anyone kill to meet us? One will die a day. Doesn't that mean they will? Someone's gonna. I don't like this. I don't like
Maybe
when
it's got nothing to
innocent.
do with us. Like Visilva says, maybe it's nothing to do with us specifically. Maybe they're just. I mean, I don't know what these foxes are. Maybe they're a group of assassins or whatever. They clearly hold some sort of power if they want, if they can threaten with death, especially on that level. Maybe they're looking for someone in particular to show up. Whether that's us
So-
or someone else, or just someone in general who's willing to show up, who knows how to follow the clues.
Well, in general, I would say that would be us because I'm not comfortable with knowing this information that someone is going to die every day until someone shows up, and we're not doing anything about it.
Just picture us showing up and then like being, who the fuck are you?
Well, at the very
Um,
least, the murder can stop.
I'm imagining us showing up and we're just like, this isn't the bathroom.
The fact that the Foxes and the Van Havens are linked isn't that much of a coincidence, since we do technically have business with the Van Havens. So the chances of them, I wonder if they know the deal we made with what's his face.
We made a deal?
What was his name? Was it Edgar?
Mhm.
With an M?
The lanky dude, Markovian.
Yes, with the Markovians.
Yeah, just for clarification, The surname is Markovia. They are the Markovians. But yes.
Ah.
It was Edgar. Well done.
What kind of shady deals do you guys make with shady people?
All the kinds.
The shady kind, apparently.
Okay, how
Not
close is the
shady.
princess to
Is it
us?
worth making?
She's like right there. She's kind of standing in the group at the moment.
Princess, what do you think the chances are that this note is for us?
I would have no way of knowing, but it's, while improbable, not impossible. It's the best
Let
answer
me
I
just
can
ask this. Is this the first murder like this, or did this literally start as we came to the city?
Well, I mean, there's been murders in Elunéth. It would be mighty conceited to assume the first murder in Elunéth happened after you arrived, but knowing what you mean, this is the first one that has happened like this, with the
In this way.
murder weapon blatantly left at the scene of the crime, yes.
Why would they leave the murder weapon? It's almost like an invitation.
Where did this murder take place?
In an alleyway not too far from the bank.
Huh.
Sorry, I'm assuming you know the city. Do you know where the Bank of Elunéth is?
Aye, we do.
We were there
Alright.
yesterday.
Well, then, yes. Assuming you didn't take the main streets and you didn't go through the full back alleys, you probably would have walked down one of these side street avenue things that would have led past right past this alley. Jesus, sorry.
More coffee, dear.
That would be wonderful, thank you.
Son, did you murder someone?
Like, I was just about to ask, is she explaining in a way that I can put two and two together and realize that, hey, I've been at that alleyway, and then can I put together that she said, family, drow, I spoke to drows, holy crap, could this be?
Your hoof prints are all over the murder scene. That is a unicorn knife.
Give me a intelligence check. Let's see how smart you are if you could put this together.
I'm wise. Just a straight intelligence check is a 12.
I mean, it's not that hard considering you were there. I'd say for the others, maybe a 12 wouldn't be good, but for you, yeah, you put
When I
it
was there, I
together
was
enough.
looking around.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking for you it wouldn't be that unreasonable to maybe not be certain, but to assume. Actually, that's how I'll say it is. You're not certain, but you are fairly assuming that it is.
I want to try and pry her for more information on this.
Just ask.
But I didn't, like, personally, as a player, I didn't take note of what this guy looked like, but I would like to try and say, did this guy by any chance look like this and this and this and this? Describing the person I spoke to.
There's part of me that's like, she looks at you, you are describing the most stereotypical drow ever. We don't all look the same. But no, she looks at you. Yes. Have you seen him before?
I think I might have spoken to him yesterday, actually.
We were in this
And,
town for a couple of hours and now we're already caught up in a murder. Visilva's just gonna dramatically flop her face on the table.
But I mean, him and his friend looked pretty healthy and alive when I left. There was something dodgy going on, though. Like, I ducked into that same alley looking for a hooded person. And I'm thinking it's this blonde girl that they were mentioning. But I couldn't find her, and on my way out, things got a little sketchy, so I didn't want to stick around much. But, I don't want to point fingers or anything, but it did seem like your dear family member, and I mean no disrespect in saying this, it did seem like they were kind of caught up in some illegal activity. So this could just be something between gangs or something like that.
Nothing's illegal if you're rich enough.
You'd fit in well with some of my family members with that outlook. Illegal such as...
It felt very black market trading would be a good way of putting it. Procuring stuff that doesn't belong to them and then selling it off to others.
You see, she kind of like immediately just has this big fat fucking grin on her face when you're saying that. No. Well, then, I suppose I can at least commend him for keeping in character. No, he is not involved in anything like that. He is one of the family's gatherers, recon specialists type. He
Sounds but you're an undercover cop.
he hangs around and procures information. I suppose that's the easiest way I can say it without going off in a long-winded explanation of politics and departmental branches. But I suppose in short, he gathers information, gathers items, and the family uses that to... I don't want to say manipulate, because that's a horrible thing, and it's not that, but it kind of is. It's more used that he gathers the information, and that information is used to influence that sector of the neighborhood. Nothing ever gets stolen. He tries to return everything he can, and that doesn't get returned gets donated.
Well, I mean, then it could as well be maybe someone found out and decided to get rid of him.
If that is the case, then, without sounding dramatic, that is mildly terrifying, because he was really good at keeping in cover, so...
Well, something's definitely going on here, and whether this letter is addressed to us specifically, which I don't think it is, there are a lot of coincidences that I would very much like to investigate that may or may not coincide with this murder. So, while I'm not saying we go and figure out what happened with your family member, there are some things here that are too bright to ignore for us at the moment. And I think somewhere along the lines, they're all linked up. And if we go investigating, we'll definitely get some answers in something somewhere along the lines.
Just a second. Shadow, can I look at that note?
And Shadow gives the note over to Dasan.
I would like to use one charge on my Gem of Seeing. And And basically, I want to know if, one, do I see anything extra on this note, like invisible text, spy stuff? But I also want...
Bum 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 ba dun dun dun. I'll stop that before we get copyrighted.
I also want to glance at the princess. And yeah, knowing what the gem does, I want, you don't have to say it out loud if I do, but do I see anything weird when I look at the princess?
No, nothing weird when looking at the princess.
She's not a snail disguised as a princess, or the actual Yokmol disguised as the princess, or some big voodoo crawling out of the cupboard.
You guys killed the y'all killed the Yochlol on the docks, and y'all killed the princess on the docks, and the Yochlol is hiding as a princess.
That's exactly what I'm trying to determine. Yes.
Curiosity, if it had been a situation like that, wouldn't Visilva know because of her cloak?
Yeah, but you would. But no, the.
I love the thing with hanging out with a snail. Visilva just thought it was everyone else saw that too.
I think that's a very nice way to explain the fact that we forget about the fact that Visilva can see this stuff. Is that Visilva sees it, but because she doesn't remember it's the cloak, she just sees it and just assumes everyone sees it, and since no one else is reacting, she's just like, oh, okay, well, I guess this is normal.
Well, important question, where was the cloak when not Blaze showed up?
She was wearing it.
For that, it's like for illusion-y things.
Okay, no, I'm going one little step further here. Just to make sure that we didn't kill the princess, and this is the Yochlol disguised as a princess.
No, this
After
is the
the whole
princess.
Blaze scenario, I'm cautious.
This is the princess.
Okay.
I'm also
then
curious.
Sorry, just before, and on the letter that you are also looking at to see if you see anything anything different or anything new. You do notice just a few little like tufts of something that looks like actually give me a nature check. You can do it with advantage. Sorry, Altari, I didn't mean to interrupt you. We just want to finish answering this.
Show me a 14.
With a 14, you, after picking up the fibers, kind of looking at them, holding them up into the light, you do recognize them to be quite distinct. At first, it kind of could have gone one of two ways, but the light hit it in a specific way, kind of just like this rainbow pearlescent color shimmering through it. And what you thought might possibly have been just simply horsehair, after seeing that, you know to be hair of a unicorn.
A unicorn.
Okay. And I mean, I am a beast hunter, This is so up my alley.
That's why you got advantage.
So these guys will just see me toying with this little thingy. Well, funny you said unicorn horn, because there's hair of a unicorn stuck to this letter.
Could he have been attacked by a unicorn?
That's, I suppose, a possibility.
Wait, you said it was
Maybe a
night,
shapeshifter.
not just impaled by a horn. Never mind.
And then just one last thing while I have my gem of seeing. I know Altari wants to jump in somewhere. I want to look around just from where we are, like not a full-on investigation. Look around the keep. Do I see anything that is completely out of ordinary?
That Visilva thinks is ordinary.
No. Only thing you will see a little bit more clearly is, as Shalray did mention, some of the corners or walls have warding, have warding glyphs and sigils etched into them. So while some of them are still just visible to the naked eye, some of them kind of have just been almost lost to time. And those just stand out a little bit more, but nothing out of the ordinary.
Yeah, I'd just like to make a mental note of what's where. And
Sure.
then, yeah, I'm just going to stand there with my cool vision until it eventually wears off.
Cool.
And for the rest of you guys, when Dasan does this, it's like, imagine The Witcher, but it's not black, it's green.
Nice.
I think you got a bit of infection going on.
Altari,
Mm.
you wanted to do or say something?
Probably of no consequence, but when I gave the talisman to the princess, I would have been on like alert, not for anything like coming in or anything like that, just trying to notice any sort of like personality shifts or body shifts or anything like that, specifically in Shalray, at literally the mention of any of the names or pieces of information in any of our conversations. I just want to see if she shifts her stance or gives away like a tell or anything like that, because I have a feeling that she knows more than she's letting on, much like I suppose we would. She may just be, I don't know, trained in whatever royal gestures or whatever, but I don't know, Altari's just skeptical.
Give me a insight check, sorry.
And also the other thing that struck me, but I don't think that's really necessary, was the assassin was described as having blonde hair, and the princess also has, I think it was white hair. Is there any sort of relation
Yes.
there at all?
What do you mean by that?
Also 17 for insight, by the way.
Okay.
Just kind of making a mental note between maybe there's a link between the assassin and the princess.
I'd say her hair's too white to be mistaken for blonde.
Okay.
It's more along the lines of Altari and Visilva's white than platinum.
Ah. Okay, just
So-
crossing all my T's.
No, fair enough. That's a valid question. Like, I would have, if her hair was more of that platinum color, I'd say, yeah, sure, maybe you could think that. I mean, I wouldn't say yes, it is, or no, it's not. I'd give you that. Yeah, sure, maybe. But this case, it's no. Her hair's too white to be mistaken for blonde.
Okay.
Unless you're like me and you're in denial and you still call your hair blonde.
Wayne's hair is definitely not blonde.
It's dirty blonde, just very, very dirty.
Brunette!
Anyway, 17 on insight.
Yeah.
You don't see anything suspicious, but you definitely do have that feeling, and maybe with a little bit more certainty, that she is not giving up everything that she knows, but you can't quite place it to a specific mention of a name or a specific, thing that was happening. It's kind of just that general vibe that it's not a malicious deception, but more just she's not telling you things without being specifically asked or without it being necessary. That kind of a vibe.
Yeah. Okay. Well, when morning is passing and a lot's happened already, I say we go into the city and just start asking questions, I guess. Obviously in a more inconspicuous way, like at a tavern or, under the guise of looking at the sites, figuring out where all the things are. Act touristy about it, but also keep an eye out for those elusive foxes.
And we walk around like, don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Be overly
also visit
obnoxious
the
when
alley
pointing at sites. Be like, oh my god, that's the biggest building I've ever seen.
Or we could just be straightforward and go back to the alley. Maybe there's a clue there.
I'm with Dasan on this one. Going back to the alley is a good starting point, and then we can do Altari's thing.
Sure. As long as we don't get caught up in becoming suspects if we go back to the alley.
You know how in Baldur's Gate, when you do something at camp, you get those notifications, Gale approved, Shadowheart doesn't approve. So, just like Shadow sided with the sun is like, he noticed that. Dasan approves.
The sun liked that.
Oh, cutesy.
Yeah.
Ooh, Ray's got some competition.
Speaking of Shalray, mentioning going back into the city, specifically to the alley. I don't mean to take you off course. Just a question, because I know you also are curious about rebuilding your keep. Would you like to, or are you interested in doing anything about the contractors before or after? Because, hear me out, if you want to do it before, just the options. I know people who are cheap, like disgustingly cheap, but they are incredibly slow. The people who are fairly priced for a fair amount of time, or the people who cost a little bit more but are faster. And if you want to go for the cheaper laborers, we need to make a stop before hitting town. We can do it after, just putting it out there that I don't get told I didn't say something before we passed them.
Well,
I hadn't
I mean,
actually thought of the keep.
I'm pretty happy with staying under the stars. I have no rush, but you ladies might enjoy your comfort more, so I'll leave this entirely up to you.
If it's on the way, why not? If it's out the way, then no.
Okay. Remind me, we'll stop on the way back then, because it's technically on the way that we have to make the detour, but it's a little bit out of the way, so maybe afterwards.
Yes.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Well, if you don't mind, I would like to tag along. I'll be inconspicuous. Don't worry. I'm not going to go walking around as the princess.
So we should not refer to you as Your Highness.
Oh, Your Grace.
Don't worry about that. Question. I assume, because I saw, but I'm just asking to make sure. Moon, I believe it was. His, and she looks at Visilva. Yours, right?
Yeah.
Take it you don't have an issue with animals.
No.
Well then. And she like takes a few steps back and kind of like does that. She rocks back onto her back foot and onto her front foot, and as she pushes forward, you watch as she like leaps into the air and just this swift transformation into this little black cat and lands on Visilva's shoulder.
That's pretty cool. Can I
Not
give her a
another
description?
one.
I think we should keep her.
Oh yeah, because that is the most genius plan ever. Take the place that we just settled. Oh yeah, abduct one of their royals just because Visilva is growing attached to the cat.
Technically, it wouldn't be abduction. I guess it could be still considered cat burglary.
Talking cats are strange.
I think I need an Irish coffee to just deal with this shit right now.
I hand you my flask. Just as you said that, I hand you my flask. Like, help yourself.
Shadow won't even think twice. She takes your flask and takes like 2 very aggressive gulps.
And it is exactly as the best thing you can imagine. That is how it is.
But it tastes like the Silver's coffee.
I just want to make sure I get the name right. You guys can go on. I'm just looking at something. But...
As we
sorry, I just found it. For reference, the little cat that Shalray has wild shaped into is, if anyone has seen the movie Suzume, it looks like a black version of Daijin.
Cute.
The Silver is
I
in
was
love.
thinking Gigi from Kiki's delivery service.
I watched we watched Suzume more recently. That's why it's that one.
Fair.
Can you
They look the
teach me
same.
how to do this?
I can. It'll take a little bit of time.
I want to turn into a cat.
Okay, so we're heading back to the alley then.
Well, I mean, it can be. It's a good place to start. I would have liked sightseeing as well, but you know, life kind of just happens while you're busy making plans.
We are settling here. There are more than enough time for sightseeing. Plus, we are technically still going to the alley, so we can sightsee on the way.
I mean, there's that.
Oh, it's almost like I suggested that earlier.
Yeah.
We don't need to use our hooves to sightsee. It's called sightseeing, not sidestepping.
Shadow takes 3 more gulps.
Sorry, starts walking
Can,
towards the door.
can I have my flask back? You might break it.
Finish it.
If Dasan reaches his hand out to take the flask, Shadow will slap it away.
Mine now,
Ooh.
bitch.
Okay. As she does that, I want to do something, and while I'm doing this, I want to pay attention to something else. I want to shoot a message to Shadow. But oh crap, she's a cat. This is gonna be so freaking awkward. Why DM thwarts plans always? Well, but I'm still gonna do it. I'm shooting Shadow a message, but I want to watch Princess Kitty for any like form of reaction to see if she, I don't know, maybe intercepts my message. And I just want to tell Shadow that, wait, how long can a message be before I do this?
25 words.
Mm-hmm.
Oh crap! No, I'm good at paragraphs. I'm just gonna say
Are you using the Stone of Sending, by the way?
no. I'm
Okay.
actually using message like the spell,
Okay.
but I have an item that does it. Crap! I'm not gonna say this in 25 words. Maybe princess, spy, like family member. Spy, like family member. Sent to spy on us. 10 words.
So,
That's not a word. I'm thinking, not Dasan. And then for the other 15 words, she can shapeshift.
She
Which I believe is
so
one
that's
word.
4.
Stop it. She can shapeshift. Maybe she is unicorn killer.
That is
Yeah.
so suspicious. But last time I trusted someone, they did try to kill me.
No, the thing is, none of you heard that. It's just something that popped up in Shadow's head.
Yeah, was me commenting, not Visilva.
Oh, I was like, yeah. So that's all Shadow heard. Or heard, felt, I don't know.
Heard.
Should I add the whole you can reply to this message?
To reply to this message, oh, you can reply to this message. Speak now. Beep.
Beep.
Okay, I'm guessing like the tone of voice is Dasan's tone, so Shadow would be able to more or less pinpoint where the fuck this is coming from. She'll like
Definitely.
look at Dasan, look down at her, at the flask,
Turning
look at him again, and she just stares at him like, what the fuck?
Shadow into a raging alcoholic in this episode.
She'll give him back the flask now.
I'm being legit here. Maybe
It's
she is the spy.
too much of this.
Okay, so after Shadow will like try and process what the fuck just happened, and then she'll just like look at the cat, look at the sun, and just like lift her shoulder.
Okay, I guess. I'm thinking to myself, that's to be discussed later. Did the cat have any reaction?
No, none whatsoever.
Purring.
The cat was doing cat things with Visilva.
If she's a spy, she'd be better trained than to react.
Don't you know all cats are spies?
I don't trust this princess no more. Well, I never trusted the princess. Just I trust her even less. Okay, walking and talking, and you're thinking and shrugging.
Making your way back through the outskirts of the city into the city proper. You enter let's call it the side street that leads into the alley where the murder happened, coming in from the opposite side. Naturally, as that is where you left, you start approaching, and you can see there's still like a small crowd of people there. By small crowd, I literally mean like 5, 6, less than 10 people kind of just hanging out, looking around. But the main attraction seems to have dissipated. As you draw near, you see bits of rope kind of tying off the crime scene, kind of like crime scene tape would, but just simple rope. The rope being the same emerald green that you see on all the guards' uniforms.
Is there a bloodstain of where he fell?
Yes, there is.
Are there guards anywhere near the rope that could pose a problem if we decide to step into an active crime scene?
You do not see any guards, but give me a perception check.
15.
You do not see any guards anywhere. It's like you kind of stand there for a bit, trying to just peer down, looking as much as you can into the alleys that break off of this alley. Like you take a bit of time listening and such, and you don't seem to see any guards around.
Well, what do you guys think? Should we take a closer look?
How about we send Visilva and the cat in?
Okay. Do I still have the unicorn hair?
If you didn't get rid of it, then yes.
I didn't.
Then
And
yes.
Dasan didn't. I take the unicorn hair, the silver little one. See if you can find more of this, which might give us a sense of direction of where they went or where they were before or after the murder.
Would my cloak help me with this? To see unicorn hair.
It doesn't just reveal these kinds of things, but I'd
So
say
not reveal, but I would see if it was there.
Not really, because it gives you true sight, so it just shows you into the ethereal plane. It shows you illusions and stuff like that, so it doesn't. But when I say reveal, I don't mean it's revealing the unicorn hair, but it doesn't just instantly be like, oh, here it is. But I will give you advantage on your investigation, as Charles Ray would hop off your shoulder and kind of just walk along the ground next to you, looking as well.
Okay, let's go investigate.
I turn to Shadow and Altari. Why couldn't she turn into a saint hound?
Because we have no move for that.
Okay. Since the children are playing investigator, that means we can have a quick chat out of earshot of the cat.
So just before you continue the chat, what did you say, Silver?
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to say anything.
Oh, okay. No, I just thought you were giving a roll result, so never mind. Proceed with chat.
I should probably.
Who's a cute kitty?
Okay. Altari, are you getting any vibes off of this princess? She is rubbing Dasan the wrong way. I don't know what to make of her. How about you?
Honestly, I can't tell. I think that there's definitely things that she's not telling us, but I don't get any bad feelings from that. I think it's just general tact and self-preservation, I suppose. At first, I did think that the similarity in the description of the assassin with the hair color of the princess might be something, but I think it's a little bit too different. I don't think she has anything to do with the murder, at least not directly anyways. But I do think she knows more than she's letting on. I'm just not sure what questions to ask her.
DM, I rolled a 12, just.
Okay. I will keep that in mind for just now.
Okay, so then we are in agreement to keep an eye on her, but not actively investigating.
Yeah, my whole vibe that I'm getting from her, and I don't know. It's just, I'll just say it. I don't trust her. She just told us that the royal family has some of the best spies available. And I don't know, it just feels like she's trying really hard to wedge herself into our company. And that just kind of puts me on alert. Maybe she was assigned to spy on the new bunch who came in swords are swinging as soon as they entered the city. And maybe she's just excellent at doing what she was sent to do. And, you know, plays on our emotions and, you know, poses as a friend. In the meantime, she was just sent to gather information. All I'm saying is, for now, until we know better, maybe not be too open with her and around her. And then the other thing that worries me is the whole fact that she can shapeshift into other things. She could be, I don't want to sound crazy, but I mean, she could have shapeshifted into a unicorn at some point. I just don't get why she would kill a family member.
When you book her. Alright.
But that's what we are yet to investigate. So I'm just saying, right as of right now, I do not trust her.
Do you think she really is who she says she is?
The
I mean,
only
what you
people.
said about the whole spy thing has got me thinking maybe she's using that sort of as a cloak to hide.
If she can change into a cat, how do we know she can't just change into the princess? The only people who can really answer that question is the guards, her family, or the princess herself, if she's not the real one.
While we're speaking, I do want to just keep a beady eye on Visilva wherever she's going. And the princess as well. I don't really care about the princess, but just so that nothing happens to Visilva. I don't want her to like lead her anywhere and then she gets lost. So I'm just keeping her in my peripheries.
Or taken.
Oh, she can handle herself, but I don't want her to have to be in that situation.
Shape-shifting assassin princess, yeah. Doesn't
And
sound
she's
like a
with
fun
Moon
situation. Sorry for me not trusting the derpy doggo.
Yeah, well,
Okay, sorry.
yeah.
No, finish first, sorry.
There you go. No, that wasn't saying anything.
I was just going to say, if for Visilva with your 14, you do not manage to find 12, sorry. Even so, you weren't finding it on 14, you're not finding it on 12. You don't seem to find any more unicorn hair lying around. You did roll with advantage though, right?
No, because I'm stupid. So we literally just discussed that. Never mind, that was a 3.
Okay, so yeah, you don't see anything. you don't find
When I walk back to the party, I'm just gonna be like talking to the cat, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, so that's how we met the sun, and then we got on the ship.
And I'm looking at the other girls like, we just talked about oversharing.
I mean, if the Cole that is with them is the same Cole that we know, they probably know a lot more than what Visilva would tell them. So I think that careful honesty is probably the best game to play here, where we're not telling any lies, but we're not oversharing either, and not giving away all our secrets, but telling them enough to keep them happy.
Oh, is this that faith thing you were talking about that we had to do in the Feywild?
I guess it's an inherent trait. But yeah, I mean, You were also saying to us when the whole thing happened on the ship with Blaze, don't give away too much information. So I'm assuming it's very much the politics of politics wherever you go. So it seems.
Yeah, I mean, information is valuable, so why not keep on to it?
Absolutely. Information can be useful when played the right way, though.
I do love it when me and you see eye to eye.
Likewise.
Yeah, I'm just here.
And you are cute doing it.
Forlan was here. He was so upset.
Wait, is Shadow hitting on Altari now? Dasan is so confused.
thought
Just
she
a few
said-
days ago, she was crying over Forlan. I'm not saying this. Dasan is not saying this. But it's like, now she's hitting on Altari? This is weird.
No, she actually complimented you, Dasan.
Yeah, she was talking to you.
Oh.
So if she was hitting on anyone.
Thank you, I guess. I'll take the compliment.
Dasan blush.
No.
Oh.
I can see your grey little flush.
No, that's just the color of my cheeks. Naturally.
Visilva, darling,
Okay.
you saw anything?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay, I guess sightseeing it is then.
I guess we can ask around while we see the sights. I'd like to know what happened to his friend, though.
You're asking this now, and I'm assuming that Visilva is back with you guys now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because then, in hearing that, Ray would be able to answer that. Just he's back down in the Underdark.
So, is there quick access to the Underdark from the city?
There are a few
Yes, so if they're
places.
ruling
Yes.
families there.
Why?
Well, I've heard some tales of some interesting things that roam around in the Underdark, and I would definitely be keen to go pay it a visit at some point. As I rub my trident.
Maybe one day when you've earned a little bit more trust, I will take you there.
You said it's the Underdark, right?
Correct.
Why do we need to gain your trust to gain access to it, though?
I think we just need her trust for her to take us.
She can point us in a general direction. She's got no...
I believe it
connections
was
to us?
Altari who wanted to keep things civil and on a gaining trust basis.
Yeah, okay. That does sound like her.
Is the princess saying this based on conversation we had with her when we met her, or is she saying this based on that she overheard their conversation?
No, this was a conversation between her and Altari.
Yeah, I thought so, but I was just checking that she wasn't, because it's like the timing made it seem like she might have been like...
No, this was her and Altari having the actual conversation.
Okay, that's like...
Since you are kind of like the monarch here, do you maybe know the Van Helsings? Of Havings, sorry.
I've not dealt much with them, but I have heard my father and mother speak of them. What is their name? Something with an S. It wasn't quite Sarah, but it was something along the lines of that. I don't know too much of them. I believe they are hunters of some sorts. Further than that, not entirely sure. But I do know the names, yes. Well, the name, not names.
Guessing you probably don't know which watering hole they would frequent.
No, but I know where you can ask.
Phil.
But that will require meeting my family. So I'll find a way to send you there where I don't have to go.
Hang on, we actually are supposed to meet your family because there's some reward we need to claim?
Oh, you're
Cool.
talking about the feast ball thing that I am assuming you were invited to for saving me.
Yes.
It's going to be a little awkward when I don't show up to my own rescue party, isn't it?
It is.
Well, it'd be more awkward if we also didn't show up.
It would be more awkward if you showed up like a cat.
You folks don't really deal with much royalty, do you?
I mean, if you
Assume,
think
but let's run with it.
one... Sorry, you can go.
Oh no, I'm just muttering under my breath.
Let me ask you a question. If you were throwing a party to celebrate somebody's return home and they never actually fully returned home, would you still have that party?
I know a bunch of people that will show up to any party just for the drink. They don't need an
Oh, you
excuse
know-
to drink.
I mean, you did sneak out once. What is to stop you from doing it again? You can appear home and then disappear again.
And if they still have the party, it might also be a very good face to hide something else. Everyone knows you've returned. I'm pretty sure the royal family wouldn't want any more shenanigans to be tainting their name or their reputation. So if they said that they'd be holding a banquet or celebration of your return, if they were to cancel that in the name of your disappearance once again, what does that say about them and their security? And indirectly you. I would say perhaps they would hold the ball anyways, and perhaps crank up the security.
Fake princess.
Hey, we could volunteer as the security. Oh no, wait. We are the guests of honor. Bad idea.
Although if we don't show up and the princess suddenly is not around anymore, that might be a little suspicious, don't you think?
Wait, who are you asking?
The general, whoever wants to answer. Just speaking out loud, just musings of an elf who doesn't encounter royalty much.
I feel like Altari is trying to hint at that she does encounter royalty a lot. Altari, are you royal?
Far from it. I've had my dealings with politics. Just put it that way.
I'm giving Altari a very, sus look.
Altari is clearly a secret princess.
No.
Not sus as in I'm thinking there's more to it. It's just like, Just a sus look, like, not the place or the time to get into that. But when is this ball actually supposed to happen?
You hear Shalray giving the loudest sigh a cat could ever possibly sigh. And she kind of like leaps off of Visilva's shoulders. Like sits, looks up into you. Oh, and I suppose I should return home. You make a fair point. Should also give us a chance to meet. Would be a little less suspicious if we were seen together then, I suppose. Were you told?
this. Sorry.
Were you told where to collect your invites?
At the cathedral.
Probably.
Wonderful. Now that I have names, I'll ensure it's addressed accordingly. Should be able to collect it by evening.
This might be an opportunity for you to maybe, long shot, just request from your royal folks to maybe show us around the city as new guests. I mean, if they agree, you wouldn't have to sneak out. I know it removes some of the fun, but at least then it would take the pressure off of hiding you from the guards all the time.
She gives you like a very, like a catty smile and turns around and just starts walking off. Just like, as she's walking off, oh, I'll see you later then, I suppose.
I'm sure we will.
Yes, yeah, she's walking like somebody just dragging one of those little hand wagon type carts behind him. She just like kind of hops up onto it and just sits down, kind of just like, you know, hitches the ride.
Oh, that wasn't an answer to the suggestion.
I mean,
Royalty.
it's not like she doesn't escape often, so she could just do it again.
Yeah, I was just trying to, not having to look over our shoulders every time she's with us in public. So, suggestions. Are we going to continue with this investigation into the murder of
Mr. Drow.
Mr. Drow? I find it very strange that his friend just up and left like that in an instant.
I feel like
Like-
if you saw your friend get murdered, you might want to run away too.
Or you would stay at least for a few days so that if the city guard has questions, you are there to answer them, to help them catch the person that killed your friend.
Not if you think the person's gonna come kill you next.
I mean, he would only know that if he read the note.
Maybe he did.
Maybe the murderer said something to him.
Maybe he was involved.
You're very pessimistic, Dasan.
I've seen enough of the world to know that good people can also do bad things. And that sometimes those that you love and trust the most are the ones that resent you the most.
Willa just looks at you, she doesn't say anything.
But not the time to get all dramatic. So, investigation, sightseeing. Wait, if she just left, how are we gonna meet with the guys who were supposed to give us a discount on the keep and the building and the stuffs?
guess we'll figure that out at a later point.
I guess we're gonna have to look for the masons and the
Or we can
carpenters.
wait for her to come back. It's not like our keeper is going anywhere. And we don't really need to sleep there now.
Well, I'm just thinking back to what Marcy told us about this talisman. She said that whenever we frequent any of the taverns, we just leave the talisman with the payment, and the right tavern, the ones that we're looking for, I suppose, the Thieves Guild, would take the talisman and then take us to the Thieves Guild, to her father. I'm thinking maybe we sightsee, and I'll hold my fingers up, and when I say sightsee, and see what this talisman can do. She also said that the taverns that know nothing about it would just leave it behind, so I think if we just keep an eye on it, perhaps we can find the Thieves Guild. Maybe that'll bring us one step closer to these mysterious foxes, whatever they are, and we can figure out this note.
At the mention of foxes, I do a quick look around. Do we see any foxes? Like emblems of foxes?
There's no
Barbershop
Deus,
with a fox sign?
There's no Deus Ex Machina fox just appearing.
Okay, no foxes. So you mean like a steak on Altari? I could do with a good steak.
You
What
definitely
you
do with a
just
snack.
feels wrong.
I
That
didn't
is
catch
not
any of that.
Thoughts that I would like to have.
The Visilva looks at the sun and she's like, the thought of you eating meat just feels wrong.
Oh, well, I mean, why?
Get cannibalism vibes.
No, there's a big difference between a cow and a minotaur. Just because it
Until you
gets...
slice them up.
I mean, we all bleed the same, do we not?
We are all still a people.
But I don't feel like our legs could be mistaken for steak.
Have you tried it before?
Someone's
If
going
no-
visibly green at the thought.
Then you cannot judge.
I'm lolling at the misunderstanding.
Anyway, about that steak. I'm hungry now.
While we're doing this, we can also scout out an inn from those pamphlets where we want to stay this evening. And henceforth, however long we end up staying here.
Hey, who said we need to stay at one? We could stay at all of them.
No, I'm pretty sure the guy said we could only stay at one.
Oh, why can't we hit up a different one every night?
I mean, we could. We just have to pay for them.
No, that takes the fun out of the freebie. What if we take the pamphlet and we rip it into 4? So we got 4 pieces, and then we give one different quarter of the piece to a different tavern and say, hey, I could do it. Yeah.
No, I don't think that's how that works.
People have no imagination.
So, first tavern we come to, hop in, and then just throughout the day, just explore the city and what's the common word? Reconnaissance?
And then we mustn't forget to pick up our invitation to the party, and we might as well go dress shopping for the party as well.
I don't want to wear a dress.
Or we can get some nice horseshoes for you then.
Look, I know my people are a tribal bunch, but we are not the dress-wearing tribal bunch. but I could find a nice bone necklace somewhere.
I feel like there's probably a bit of a dress code.
Well, I think Frank's already gotten us all beaten there.
I feel like Frank will just give a smile, like a really awkward, like takes him a while to manage to pull off a smile, but he does.
Like a cartoon bone that just has shape. I'm gonna go up to him and just sort of like straighten and tighten his little bow tie. There we go.
Good to see your facial muscles are still working, Frank. Okay, that's creepy. No. So no, I'll take a few steps away. It's like, no.
I want to say you get used to it. Walking and talking. I would like to say that when we do go dress shopping, and this is as Altari saying, that maybe we should try the talisman there as well. I don't know if it's strictly restricted to taverns or if it's anyone who might be affiliated with the guild. I think it's just worth a try. Just not ask too conspicuously, but just flash the talisman and see if there's any sort of reaction.
I love the idea of this high-end, like, boutique being part of the criminal underground.
100%.
It's a perfect cover.
Yeah. Money
You're like-
laundering?
I feel like that's
And
the
you
case.
And you know, just it's a big city. We might run into people from our past. Don't know. Just sounds like you guys have had some interesting pasts. So a heads up if anything sketchy is gonna go down would be nice.
We may or may not have burnt down a village.
That was not us.
What?
We were involved, but we were not the culprits.
Sketchy tends to find us first. So
Yeah.
once we're in it, we'll let you know.
I don't know what I'm getting myself into.
A whole lot of fun.
That's for sure.
I don't consider burning down villages fun.
Again, that was not us. In
I
our
just have to
defense,
ask. Did that happen because Altari was looking at something with her fingers?
Son!
Whenever you do that, something goes wrong. I'm just saying.
No,
What
but they
the
did burn down
fuck?
someone's house because of bugs.
We were doing him a favor.
About that.
And technically that was Forlan. I wanted to just fill the hole. I
I
might have
love the
helped.
logic of you tried to set dirt on fire.
Oh no, we set the carpet on fire and then the whole house went
Soil,
up
you're
in
like,
flames.
we'll collapse this soil by setting it on fire.
To be fair, we did get rid of the bugs.
And the village.
And that was a separate
That was-
incident.
That was a separate, yeah.
How many villages did you burn down?
No, we only burned down a house. No villages.
I didn't say we burnt out, we were just involved in the burning of it down.
Which is ironic since we were fighting an ice dragon. How do we do it?
Is that the same dragon you still want me to look at?
Yes. Actually, yes. And I don't want to know what it smells like in there. At least it's wrapped up all nicely, so maybe we can salvage the bones. It could be a really cool, I don't know, something we can mount up in the keep sometime.
Well, I've got all my tools with me, and I did see a nice semi-sturdy table still standing at the keep, so when we get back there and we've got some time, I don't mind having a look at it. It'd be fun to get my
Fantastic,
hands
thank
dirty
you.
again.
Zombie dragon.
I'm really interested to know if the coal in the letter is the same coal that we know. And I wouldn't be surprised if it is.
Complicates a few things.
I mean, when is anything we've been involved in not being complicated?
Against my wishes, absolutely none of them.
And considering that Jesper was on the ship as well, I would assume that he's probably with them as well. I mean, Jesper and Cole both ran in the healing circles, so another thing that wouldn't surprise me.
Jesper was on the ship with us?
He was hurt in the fire, the Vandalin fire.
That's what I was like, I don't remember interacting with him, but yeah, hurt. It's all so long ago.
Yeah. It was when we first met Lady Marshmallow, and Liliana helped all those refugees and those who survived the fire, I suppose, on the ship, and wherever they've all gone to, that's their business now. But Cole and Jesper were both there. I suppose they're here now.
Feels like
Wouldn't
a
surprise me if
lifetime
it's the same
ago.
ones. Yeah, Cole's always one for getting into trouble, so like I said, wouldn't surprise me. Much like us, actually. We seem to have a certain penchant for complicated.
It must be an elf thing.
Might be a Fae thing. I'll give her a look.
Shadow will look at you back. Glare at you.
You're becoming more perceptive to my glares.
No, it seems
Oh.
like you want to start a cat fight about something.
Oh, the cat ran off, so you might have to wait a bit if you want that.
Huh. That was good. Well done.
Oh, I think you're rubbing off on me. Maybe it's a good thing.
Oh. And Shadow will give like, oh, I'm such a proud mother.
Ah. Okay, this place looks interesting.
That was nice.
It smells fresh.
Smells like steak.
Dasan is hungry. Maybe we should get lunch or something.
Not a bad idea, and we can at least start investigating further. See what comes up. I assume we've been walking and talking, sort of just like, maybe not walking very fast, but like slow pace at least.
I think that's a general rule now in this campaign.
I also want to be taking notes, like a mental note of where we're going, just so that I can remember, like, oh, we turned here, that place had a blue door, or whatever, just so that I can kind of start constructing some sort of direction in my head.
Okay. In terms of the inns that are listed, are you going? I'll give you the name now. Are you going to just kind of like pick one and go to it? Are you going to go to the closest one, or do you want to try and find out a bit more about them before you make any?
I think maybe vibe check. I mean, we have the day, so maybe if we spend like a couple of hours vibe checking all of them and seeing which one has a nicer feel or a more the kind of feel that we might feel comfortable in, or whatever. One that like calls to us, shall we say?
And one with a cool name.
That we'll probably all forget.
We don't want to stay at the moldy cup, for example.
It crosses out one of the names I had.
I love our DM.
Not gonna lie, the rusty knife did sound pretty interesting.
Moldy cup is now rusty knife with 2 E's.
Do you think those are official names or just people being funny?
Well, people sometimes draw inspiration from the very first thing they see.
That is true. Or a weird experience.
Or what they were threatened with.
What they
Yeah.
did the threatening with.
Yeah.
Maybe the building is the threat.
Okay, so the 7 inns that there are. So, okay, let me just clarify. Are we going to say that you spend the better part of the day going to each of the 7 and just kind of getting a vibe of them and like hearing a little bit about them and then making your decision?
Yes.
Can we at least say we stopped at the early one for a steak? Dasan do be hungry, and a cow, horse, man dude can't just survive on coffee alone.
I can.
If you want food before that, you could get food at one of the street vendors.
What kind of food? Oh, let's not get too technical. Timeline. Okay, food. Check. Simple.
And while we're paying, I would also like to just inconspicuously, accidentally, not accidentally, like pay with the talisman as well, and see if anyone actually like responds to it in any way. I'm not handing it out to people. I'm just sort of like flashing it when I pull out, when we pull out gold to pay for things, just to be like, whoopsie, or whatever, to see if anyone has a response to it while we're doing all of this.
Nobody seems to pay much mind to a talisman.
Ah, why can't it just be easy? Oh, I know.
Because
I
then it
know.
wouldn't be fun if you were just handed everything.
No, naturally. No, this is Altari just being
No,
like,
I know. Okay,
Have to try.
fair enough.
At least we know which ones aren't responding. Not writing them off yet, because maybe they do know something and they're just like, oh, these weird looking travelers. But
Do the rest of us know that Altari is flashing the talisman?
Ah!
Because if we are, I want to say the more and more she's flashing this thing around, the more and more I am going to start paying attention for people who might be following us.
Oh yes, that's a very good point. And if someone does start following us, that would be a very interesting thing to play along into.
Nobody seems to be following you. Like, you have that one group that appears to be following you, and just as you're about to think you're going to approach them, they take their own turn off, just coincidentally having walked the same direction as you for half the fucking city.
It does happen, can confirm.
So no, but that would be the closest you've come to being followed.
Going forward, I'm keeping that thing up like, hey. Just so you know, I'm on the lookout for followers.
Yes, so
as
are
we
we.
walk and talk.
Follow us at RollWithoutTrace. Mini plug in the middle of an episode. Anyway. All right, the ins. The ins and outs.
And the outs.
All right, so number 1 is the velvet thimble. Why is this not charging?
Pretentious.
What you kind of get from it is it seems quite cozy, and you learn that it's quite popular with seamstresses, artisans, and traveling performers. It's known for its soft bedding and wonderful tea service.
Ooh.
I knew that was coming.
I
was expecting the ooh.
Another one is the
Run down
gilded.
Miss Paddington.
The gilded lantern. This is near a trade route, so it's on one of the canals. There are these large brass lanterns hanging outside, and it is owned by a retired adventurer who really likes to swap stories. Numero 3, the brass bellows. This one is run by a dwarven family who brew a pretty mean stout in-house. The rooms are clean, warm, and surprisingly well soundproofed. Number
Forlan's
5. The Whispering Table.
Mm.
Or
What did I say?
5.
Oh, yeah, I've got it as number 5 because I've skipped number 3 for a reason. I'm going to leave that one for last. So yes, it is the 4th one I'm reading. You are correct. The Whispering Table. Built on old elven foundations, rumors say that quiet conversation carries across the dining room without you having to even raise your voice. All it is it's just really good acoustics.
So not a place to go if you're trying to be discreet.
The number 5, which is my number 6, is Cinders and Sage. It's a pleasant mix of being rather rustic, but still quite modern. It has warm fireplaces with a herbal-themed decor aesthetic going. This is most well known for its bathhouse and relaxing ambience. The 6th on your list is the Painted Jackal. Apologies, I type like shit. Write like shit. The Painted Jackal, a colorful, upbeat inn that is quite close to the artisan district. The walls are decorated with murals of desert creatures and lively festivals. And you're number 7, and the reason I left this one for last is because I was going to happen. This one is, I'll tell you its name last. That's how we're going to end the session.
Oh no!
There's a charming little inn with a little,
Isn't it? It's foxy, isn't it?
It's a very cozy little place. Has a little small walled-off garden, and it's a favorite amongst scholars, especially the more lower-ranked scholars, and couples passing through the city. And the name of this inn is Fox and Fig. And that
Definitely not that one.
is where we are going to end tonight's session.
It's too on the nose. Can't be that one.
So thank you to everyone for joining us. Thank you for being here, and thank you for sticking through the beginning where we had a little bit of technical issues, but I am glad we got that sorted. We've got our stream, and I'm going to be a little bit cheeky, but because our stream actually worked, the video will be up on its regular schedule. But once again, thank you to all of my amazing players. You guys are awesome. And thank you to everyone who's here watching. Hope you all have an amazing night. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to follow us on Twitch at RollWithoutTrace. And if you're watching this on Twitch, be sure to follow us on YouTube at RollWithoutTrace. Links to all our socials, which we're not very good at, are down in the doobly-doo. We'll get better, I promise. Getting there. Just need to actually get into the swing of this whole social thing. But other than that, we wish you an amazing week. Stay warm and stay amazing. And I'm stalling because I'm trying to find the final scene, which I've just found. And thank you for joining us tonight. And once again, go out there and claim some stars.
It's a bit war crying.
Good. And on that
But only in
bombshell.
D&D.
Oh,
No bodies were
good.
dropped.
And to end like we started, good night.